Three, two, one, and we're live. Welcome back, everybody, to our second ITRAD Fantasy Podcast with your host, Justin Bird.
And Matthew Castro.
All right, so today to start off our podcast, we're going to get started with the week in review. So we saw some crazy things, I guess you can say, kind of go down this week.
SMH.
So we're going to start off with Philly Special versus Numero Uno. Score was 134 to 112. Philly Special won. Sean Watson put up 5 points. Had the wrong start in Powell. Wasn't a good week for me. Kevin got the win. Next we have.
That was my wait. Wasn't that my upset? Yeah, that was my upset, wasn't it?
Was your upset?
Yeah, he just got lucky, I guess. Sony Michel got 25 points.
Yeah, I know. Moving on, we have Silicon Valley versus Team Impala. That game ended weirdly as Simon scored 192 points. That was something we haven't seen.
He rear-ended him. He asserted his dominance on team.
Then we had Fear Pita's Tigers versus Suck My Dicka, which did end in a tie at first.
Yes.
Eddie would have won off bench points until this morning when we found out Jameis Winston lost 0.2 points off rushing yards. Tough loss for Eddie.
That's pivotal. That was a pivotal game.
He thought he had the win, but if that was me, I would have been devastated.
Yeah, I would have been mad as hell. But good win for Sonny. He's top of the league right now.
5-1. Then we had, you could take this one, Brooklyn Treadway versus Can't Hide My Chub.
Jarvis Landry, if you're watching this, I hate you. That's all I have to say about that.
Moving on, we had Sheck West Fan Club versus Team X. I didn't even really notice that Nick put up 190 points. That's two 190-point teams in 1 week. We've seen some abnormally big scoring games this year. We had a 238 scoring game. Kenny, we had 290 points this week.
It's been kind of pass dominant this year, I think.
I mean, Nick had Barkley and Connor who put up 30 and 40. But he had Adams who put up 37 too, so that helps.
He did really strike the lottery with James Conner, but you know this week he does not have him, as they have the bye.
All right, so moving on to the next segment, we have our lock of the week, our game of the week, and our upset of the week. You can start this one off, Castro, with your picks. So who do you have for your game of the week?
My game of the week is Silicon Valley this week. This is my lock. I really love them this week because, you know, they're just going to – his team is just like he made the right trades and he's going to win whatever now. I mean, apparently, whatever team gives him a run for his money is whatever team is going to give him a run for his money. But until then, he finds a good opponent, then he's just going to win it.
Yeah, I actually had the same lock of the week. Julian, I think, only projected 100 points with his full starting lineup in. That's crazy.
He should have got that last week, but Alshon Jeffrey went off. You know, like he has Mahomes now, but it's not enough for Simon.
Moving on to game of the week. For my game of the week, actually, I have Philly Special versus Sheck West Fan Club. I feel like these are two teams that consistently be good. We just had that trade, actually. Diego traded. Actually, we'll ask him about that trade later when he comes. Anyway, who's your game of the week?
Game of the week is actually going to be Team Impala versus Suck My Dick, though. Now, Ed recently made a trade, and his team is looking a lot better than what it was before. He has Boyd and Tate now, which is good. And, I mean, he has McCoy, but McCoy's not really living up to his expectations this year. But on top of that, Kenny's team is just like he has the players that are just going to score big all the time. So it's going to be a close game. It's projected 144 to 134 right now. So,
moving on to our upset of the week. Who do you have for your upset of the week?
My upset of the week is actually going to be Numero Uno versus Fear Pita's Tigers. Now, this is the start of Rome falling down for Sonny. Um, last week I said his schedule after Eddie is just going to be very hard to just win over, and this is the start of it. And I don't think his team is strong enough for this week. I mean, James White, his star running back, is facing
Yeah,
Chicago, and
he's
they
got
just
James White and Peyton Barber playing.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, Miami did. I don't know. Last week's game was just weird, but James White now in Chicago, they might be looking for revenge to whatever team's next.
For my upset of the week, I guess if you call this an upset, I have Eddie winning over Team Impala. Only reason I would consider this upset is because Kenny's 3-3, Eddie's 2-4. Kenny's been quite a powerhouse this year so far. I like Eddie's matchups. He did did good with his team. The trades he just made. Uh, he's got Thomas now. He's got Golden Tate. He's starting Andy Dalton at quarterback, which I actually think is going to be a good start for him against that Chiefs D. It seems like the Chiefs are in shootouts more often than not. So I think,
Yeah, Andy Dalton has been good this year, but like I don't know, he's just a sleeper. I mean, for for his team, that is for the Bengals, he's been good.
yeah,
But I mean, fantasy, he's been all right, I guess. But for the Bengals, he's been putting up at least 220 yards per game
yeah.
this entire season. So with at least one touchdown every single game, he hasn't been, you know.
Moving on, we have one of our most favored segments, I guess you could say, our power rankings this week. Um, so to start off my power rankings, I have at the number 10 spot again, Can't Hide My Chubb. This is a team that's been struggling to put up points. I think he's got like 630 points or so far in the season through 6 weeks. Um, Lowest scoring in the league. Made some trades. Team's not looking too bad now. Still got to see how those pan out for him in the long haul. Who do you have at your number 10?
Yeah, number 10, can't hide my job again. I mean, he did beat my team, but I think that was just a fluke game for him. I mean, well, for my team, that was. I mean, he beat me fair and square, but he's still not this. This isn't a good team in the long run.
All right, moving on to our number 9 spot. I have Suck My Dicka. Eddie, I think, is a great fantasy player. He took home the championship last year. His team hasn't been looking too hasn't not that it hasn't been looking too good. It hasn't been they haven't been performing as well as I think him and other people have thought they would. He's 2-4 right now. It's still only week 6. He's could put up a nice stretch to get that playoff spot. It's I think it's a lot easier to make the playoffs this year. 6 spots, no divisions. So moving on, who do you have?
Mine is actually probably going to be surprising to you and to everyone watching. Number 9, I have Sheck West Fan Club. Now, at number 9, I know what you're thinking, 3-3, whatever, right? He's been pretty good, but I think the trades he made, that we'll talk about later, is a little bit suspect to his team. If I can read off his team, Jared Goff, Kareem Hunt, Tevin Coleman, who's actually going to be sharing snaps with Ito Smith, Larry Fitzgerald, Keenan Cole, Austin Hooper, Kenyon Drake, Vikings defense, and Dan Bailey. Now, I don't know what everyone else thinks his team is, but I do not see that team good at all. Like, except
Yeah.
besides Kareem Hunt, like his team is not gonna is just falling off now. He made some sus trades. I mean, AB is on his team, right?
Yeah.
But he's on a bye. But even then, I see that team as like a low end team, like competing at the back of the road. So that's
By the
just my
way, you have Manuel Sanders, right?
yes, indeed.
He just threw a
Uh,
touchdown pass actually to Sutton. Yeah,
what the hell?
yeah.
All right, whatever.
They
I'm not
ran a
watching, but
nice
that's gonna
little.
be sick. Whatever.
Anyway,
That's so stupid. 4 points now, not not even, not
I mean you got the
6.
passing yards too. So,
Yeah.
number 8, I have Check West Fan Club actually. Um, Basically you said everything I was thinking. His team kind of fell off a little bit. I think that trade he made gave up a little too much. He gave up Schuster and
A lot of
was
much.
half Schuster and Thomas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was questionable
Suspect.
to me. Thomas is a number one receiver, and then Schuster has been putting up almost
Above average
wide
points.
wide receiver one, definitely wide receiver 2 points. So
Yes. I mean, he did have Cooper Cup, but he's injured, and who knows with that guy. So,
moving on,
um, for my pick, I have Philly Special. That might be another surprise because he's also 3-3, but still, I think after this week, his team's not going to be picking it up. I mean, he doesn't have Mixon. And wait, did he trade Mixon away?
no, he still got Mixon.
Where is he?
What do you mean? Where is he?
He's not on the team. I'm not seeing. Oh, he's on his flex. I'm sorry, but he does have Mixon. But I don't know. Dalvin Cook is just like sus. I mean, I don't even know what's wrong with that
Yeah,
guy. The Vikings can't even block. So I mean, I guess if Sony Michel is putting up his monstrous 26 points like he did last week,
yeah.
then maybe his team will be good again. But I don't know. Again, a team that's just injury riddled, and that's not his fault. But whatever.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So who do you have at your 7th spot?
Number 7, I have Mr. Another maybe surprise, I don't know, but Tame Impala. Now,
Interesting.
his team is now, I think, boomer bust, in my opinion. Now that Kamara is sharing with Ingram, he also, for some reason, I don't even know, his trades, I don't know, his off the field time is just weird to me. I don't know. But like I don't know, it's just boomer bust for me. Naheem Hines is starting this week. George Kittle. He is a good tight end, but who knows when he's just gonna get locked down. I mean he plays the Rams this week. AP, I mean, I don't know. I just have a feeling that guy's has to drop off at some point. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
just me, but I mean he does have the Colts defense this week. That's probably gonna be like at least 20 points knowing him, but whatever.
yeah. I think he had two 30-point defensive performances this year so far,
That's crazy.
with two different defenses. That is so.
Who do
Moving
you have?
on, at my number 7 spot, I have Philly Special. I did lose to him this past week, uh, but his team, once again, ridden with injuries. Um, I just don't know what's going to be next for him this season because he took Dalvin Cook at what round? I want to say
Second round, I think.
second round. Losing your second round pick like that is hard.
Number
You know,
12 overall,
it
Dalvin
puts you at
Cook.
a little bit of a disadvantage. I mean, he did have Sony Michel, which was a great pickup for him, who's been replacing that role. But yeah, right now, if he picks it up, he's another one that has always been good every year. So I'm sure he'll make the playoffs.
Hmm.
At number 6, I actually have Brooklyn Treyway. Little bit of a sus loss this week, so they went down a little bit in the power rankings, but I think they could bounce back. It's only week 6, like I said, so anything could really happen.
So we're at number 6, right?
Yeah.
Number 6, I have uh Mr. Eddie Hernandez. Suck my dick. I didn't say him, right? No, I
No.
didn't say him. But he did make some moves. His team is better now, way better now that I've never seen. He's actually like a playoff contender, obviously. Um, he has McCaffrey. Bell can come back, but it's just weird, like
Yeah, that situation is.
he hasn't even reported, and he said apparently the bye week, but who knows with that team now? Some heroics is gonna happen. He's gonna come back week 10, but Diego, but he has Michael Thomas now. Obviously, a top receiver. Golden Tate also a top receiver. Tyler Boyd is also he is knocking on the door as a wide receiver one, kind of. I mean, he's ranked 14 right now, and I mean, I don't know, he's sharing with AJ Green, but so he's putting up the numbers.
Yeah.
So his team is way better now. He obviously has Killer Trav. Miss you, buddy, but whatever.
All right. At our number 5 spot, I have myself numero uno. Took a hard loss this week, set us back to 500. I like the moves I made, this season so far. I think my season will be good down the road. Um, I think my waiver pickups have Chester Rogers last week got me 15 points. I think I've been doing good with that. So hopefully, Todd Gurley could lead me to a championship maybe this year, but it's still early. So
Yeah, it is really. Want me to go?
yeah,
My pick, I have you also. I mean, you do have the good players. I don't know, how has Njoku been? He's been
I
good.
haven't been starting him, but ever since Baker Mayfield has been starting, I think
He's been
he
starting
had
to turn
10 points, then
12
13,
points.
then
Yeah, and
18,
18.
I think.
Yeah,
So
he's a top five tight end,
I hope
undoubtedly.
so.
But your team's gonna be better once Breida becomes okay. I guess he's not made out of glass, but
Yeah.
you never know. He can come back strong. He's top five in leading. I think he's top five leading rusher this year. Might be.
Next up at number 4, I actually have Silicon Valley. Um, I actually liked the trade Simon's done with his teams. He's got a lot of players they didn't have in the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
He's got Zeke and Gordon, which might be the best running back duo in the
It
league,
is. It is.
undoubtedly. Gordon's been great for him. Zeke
He's been
actually
killing everyone.
is
Yeah.
going to, I feel like, pick it up a lot. So those two running backs, I think, could definitely get him to a playoff spot this year.
Yeah. I have him also. Um. Yeah, he just has, I don't know, the trades he's been making. He's just been winning every trade, like, by far. And he has Tyreek Hill. Obviously, if he has a good game, he's scoring at least like 25 points.
Yeah.
And he has Diggs. He's always going to get at least 20 or 15. His running backs are always going to produce. He's just like literally like another one player away from just like winning this. Like, I don't know. Just he has Juju. He's on a bye though, but his team's scary now. So
Coming in at our number 3 spot, I have Team Impala. It's been said a lot, but yeah, he put up 238 points that 1 week. It's looking like, to me, his team could either do really bad for the rest of the season, or just like you said before, actually boomer bust. I think his team overall is boomer bust for the remainder of the season. So
it
we'll
wouldn't be
see.
boomer bust if he didn't do some of those trades,
Yeah,
but whatever.
questionable trades.
Sauce trades. But at number three, I have me. Now, this is because this is because I would be up there if I didn't lose to Julian last week. Now, if I won that, then I would be number three ranked already on regular ESPN
But you didn't.
standings. I know because
I
I
mean,
once again, Jarvis Landry, if you're watching, I hate you. But still, um, if I would have won, I think my team is still solid. David Johnson has to turn up for me, but that's my number one factor. It's a big factor, but that's my factor of this my team.
at number 2, I have Europetus Tigers. Um, only reason, only reason I have him this high is because of his record. His points against is the lowest in the league. Now, when you take that into account with his points for, which is also one of the, I think, the fourth lowest in the league, all that is getting lucky. I think he won his game with 109 points this week. Um,
Questionable.
he honestly just has the luck there on his side. I mean, his points against is 653. There is not a single team in the league with the points against in the 600s. I think the next highest is 727.
That's
So that's
yours.
about a 70, 80 point drop off there. So
Yeah, that's just he just got lucky, and his team just got lucky too at the same time. Let's like I said, James White pulling off, like, I don't know. It's just weird. Tom Brady doesn't look for anyone else. His steps are James White, Edelman, then Gronk. Like, it's just weird. I don't know how he thinks of things. But for my number two is also Sonny, purely off the record and points. I don't know. He just got lucky, like you said. Move on to number one.
Number one, I have Team X. You have Team X too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Barkley has obviously shown that he's the focal point of that offense. He had a game where he had 14 catches this year. He just gets fed the whole time. I mean, he's a great player, and especially with that shitty team you have there, garbage points help a lot. You know,
Yeah.
just dumping the ball off to him has gotten him a lot of points.
Yeah. I have him at number one also. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Connor and Bell, but even if nothing happens, he still has Ingram. And I mean, he has Devontae Adams, but his wide receivers might affect him in the next. I don't know. If his wide receivers don't do good, his team doesn't do good.
Yeah.
So, who knows? I mean, he has Edelman. He's force fed, but whatever.
Moving on, we have our waiver pickup of the week. Who do you have for your waiver pickup of the week?
My waiver pickup of the week might be a sleeper. There might be somewhat of a, I don't know. It's me. All right. I picked up Tre'Quan Smith. Now, if you don't know who that is, that's the Saints' new wide receiver too. I mean, last week when Drew Brees broke the record, he just like
that was him
fed
who
him
caught
the
it.
ball. Yeah, it was him who caught it, and he's fed the ball. And if you didn't know the news, Ted Ginn is actually on IR, and he might not
I
even
just
come
saw
back.
that.
He might not even come back.
Saw
So he's the wide receiver too, and that team's might be changing up and throwing it. So that's what I have.
My waiver pickup of the week, I actually have Marlon Mack. He was named the starter for that Colts offense. I feel like they're going to utilize him a lot, you know. Naeem Hines has been doing great. So
Yeah,
I think
he is a starter, but I don't know that Reich just, I don't know. He's a starter, but Hines comes in. Turbin's injured, but everyone still sees the field. It's not like Mack is just killing everyone in percentage with snaps, but he's still up there. It's a good pickup.
moving on, we have our love-hate of the week. Gonna start with my love. My love for the week is Edelman. Julian Edelman is, you have the best quarterback in the league going up against the Chicago Bears defense that let backup QB Brock Osweiler light them up with 387 yards and 3 touchdowns. Albert Wilson had 155 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. That defense just can't tackle. I think Edelman's a really shifty guy who's going to be able to do the same thing that Wilson did. I think Belichick knows that. So I see a good game for him this week.
For my love, it's got to be the Colts defense this week. I mean, Peterman is starting. I don't know. That's just weird to me. Like, oh, no, not Peterman. Anderson is starting, and that's like someone that they haven't seen this season. And the Colts aren't a bad defense at all, so they should eat him alive this week. I'm projecting them like at least 15 this week. It's gonna be a good one.
Now for my hate of the week, I have Leonard Fournette. Nothing against the player. I mean, he's in Julian's lineup. If he is a started player, he is my hate. Coming off of injury, hasn't played in a couple weeks. Going up against the Texans defense, you got Clowney and you got Watt coming off the edge. I don't think it's a good start at all for Julian. Fournette's a great player, but it's going to be tough playing against that D-line with that injury.
My hate of this week is Mr. Alvin Kamara. Now, he's facing Baltimore's defense. Baltimore's defense is actually pretty good, and I don't think they're no stranger to what the Saints are planning to do this week. I mean, last week they did see Ingram just like kill it, But I think it might be obvious that the Saints might be incorporating Kamara more this week. Maybe he isn't, but either way, he's going to drop off this week. The Baltimore Ravens might know their game plan at this point. I mean, Ted Ginn's gone now, and they're not going to be passing it to Mr. Watson on the tight end. So I think Kamara is going to be a strange, like, he might not be doing as hot as he's been doing. He's been falling off. That might be a concern for Kenny, but he's going to be good the rest of the season still. You just got to give him some time.
All right, and now give us a second. We're gonna be bringing in a special guest you heard earlier. We're gonna have Diego joining in the call. So let's get him in here real quick. Search people. Here he is.
We're about to edit this part out.
All right, sorry about that. How do I add him into here? More
I
options.
don't know. Mine says add recipients to call.
Yeah. Oh wait, is this it? Yeah. Here it is. My bad. All right, there we go. Hey!
Jesus
Welcome to the show. Special guest, owner of Team Sheck West Fan Club. We have Diego Cuevas on the line. How you doing, Diego?
I'm doing good, guys. How you guys doing?
All the way from Pittsburgh. Oh my
Pittsburgh?
goodness.
Yes,
Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh, baby, home of the Steelers.
So, me and Matt are gonna get started on our pick'ems of the week. If you want, you could put some feedback in if you want to add some. So,
All
start with numero uno versus Fear Peter's Tigers. I had myself winning that one. Depending on how Christian Kirk does tonight, I decided to put him into the flex with 5 minutes before the game. I felt good about him. Gurley's going to get me 25 points plus regardless. So I feel comfortable about that. AJ Green, I feel like, is going to have a good day for me. I have Wentz, my first week with Wentz, who I'm hoping for a big game from. Who do you have for that game, Castro?
Easy, no-brainer. Justin Burr is going to win this game. That's not even a question to me. All right.
Easy no-brainer, dang.
No-brainer.
No-brainer, but
This is the fall off of Sonny Pita's team. This is the fall of Rome. Rome is falling down right now.
I do think that his team doesn't look like as good as it's been. It looks like they've been performing, but I don't know if they could go the distance.
Who's Sonny's team?
Yeah, Sonny's team.
Yeah, Sonny's
Josh
team.
Rosen just threw another pick six, by the way. Anyone?
It was a Denver
defense,
D.
Denver
Yeah, it was
D, good start.
Moving on, we have Team Impala versus Suck My Dicka. I have Team Impala winning this one, actually. But, Kenny is a boomer bust, in my opinion. I see the boom this week. What about you?
Me, I see Eddie winning. I mean, he made the moves specifically for this week. If Ed loses this week, his season might be like his slim chance of making the playoffs if he loses. I mean, what is that? 5 losses? 5 losses. You do not want to be at that at all. Not even close.
I have is Ed's team Tyler Boyd?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that got vetoed.
No.
Did it?
Like we said, pushover. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
But it says vetoed in I think there's something messed up.
No,
Huh?
See, what happened was they did that trade, and Simon offered it again for some reason. And it was in Eddie's inbox. He said instead of his transactions, I think, and he accidentally accepted it. But yeah, so it's not going through the second time.
He's trying to glitch the system. Trying to get two Tyler Boyds on his team.
Next up, imagine if you could duplicate players. Like I just put Todd Gurley at my flex. I could duplicate your coins. Anyway, next
I can
matchup,
duplicate your diamonds.
Next matchup we have Can't Hide My Chubb versus Silicon Valley. The Toilet Bowl. I have Simon winning this one. That's an easy one for me. Simon has made some moves, like we said before. He's got Melvin Gordon and Zeke, best running back duo in the league. I see a big game for him actually, and I not even so much a big game for him. It's just Julian's team. What do you have?
Me, I have Simon winning. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a bookie, contact them right now and bet on Simon. Like, bet your entire 401k on Simon's fucking thing, bro. He's gonna kill. All right, but
yeah,
but you never. I don't know. His running backs are not gonna get held back, but
his running backs are better than the entire team of Julian's team. If Stephon Diggs goes off like he can, it's just gonna be an easy win. So
next up we have Team X versus Brooklyn Treyway. I'm sorry, Castro, but I see Team X taking the win this week. I just really am a fan of Nick's team. James Conner on a bye. Maybe you can pull out the win there. But Barkley is against the Falcons D. It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
I won't comment too much, but all I'm saying is that I looked out a little bit. I mean, the buys on his team, Devontae Adams, James Conner, all not playing. So I mean, I got kind of lucky, but I see myself winning. So did the commissioner, but
yeah, I think James Conner is a big part of his team. Mark Evan Oxley could be great, but I see Castro winning this one actually. I actually lost to Team X last week because
I'll avenge you.
Yeah, please do.
Next up, we have Sheck West Fan Club versus Philly Special. I have Philly Special winning this one. Kevin's always been a good player, like I said. Diego's team took a little bit of a hit. I feel like only reason I see you losing this game really is because you traded for AB, who's on bye. You got caught at the wrong time.
Questionable.
But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Who do you have winning this matchup?
Sorry, Diego, but I just think Philly Special is gonna pull this game off. It's only because of that wide receiver core is looking kind of weak. I mean, if AB was in, then maybe it would be a different story, but you still got a little bit of time if you want to get that waiver pickups, but that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bet against my team, but my wide receiver core is definitely looking weak this week. I don't know what to say about that.
Anyway, moving on, our next segment, the reason we have you here, Diego, let's talk about your team. So at quarterback, you got Jared Goff. Not starting Cousins this week against the Jets defense. How come?
I just think the San Francisco defense has not looked that good compared to the Jets, and the Jets actually have the second most takeaways, something like that. But they have one of the best takeaway teams. That's kind of why I chose them.
All right.
Yeah, Jared Goff does have those weapons too. He's just gonna. Yeah. He's good.
So you're starting Kareem Hunt and Telvin Coleman. I like those two. I think they'll do good for you. What round did you draft Hunt in?
Second round. Yeah.
Now, do you have any picks you regret taking early, maybe?
Picks I regret taking early. I had the 10th pick, so it was kind of
Oh,
rough
you
for me
had
at that.
back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Who was your first, Thomas?
Yeah, MT.
Now, actually, as I just noticed, why did you trade for Deshaun Watson? He was just thrown in the deal, or you actually wanted him? Because now you have Goff, Cousins, and Watson.
That playoff schedule, baby. If I get there,
If Watson gets there,
Yeah, if
if
Watson has
Watson
like a
doesn't
punctured
die,
lung, I think. I'm pretty sure he has a
he's got a
punctured
punctured
lung.
lung. No, a collapsed lung and a broken rib, I think it was. Anyway, uh, Keenan Cole and Larry Fitzgerald, that wide receiver, not really the best. Larry Fitz has 3.8 points right now. Rosen's having a horrible game. It's only the first quarter, I think, though. Anyway, do you have faith in Keelan Cole, or are you just putting him in there because you don't got anybody else to put in there?
that's kind of true. That and but I do have faith in Keelan Cole. I think he's a good player, and he's capable of doing some good things for the team.
Yeah, they are good. They are pretty good receivers. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, well, I kind of know why because the Cardinals' offense isn't looking good. But like, if they start to turn up, then Larry Fitzgerald can easily be a wide receiver too. Like,
I feel like they aren't using David Johnson correctly, which is why
facts.
which is why Larry Fitz is having like a bit of a down
Facts.
year. It's kind of rough.
One thing I want to ask you about actually is Kenny Drake. Now, this is a guy who had a high ceiling at the beginning of this season, right? Had a good last couple games last year. Drafted him in what round was it?
It was
Drafted
one.
him in the fifth round or sixth round. I forget which one.
I could check
Uh,
right now.
His stat line hasn't been too great. He's had 4 games in single-digit points. He's had a 24-point game and a 17-point game as his best games. He's got 1 touchdown in the season. Have people been asking you for Drake, or have you been declining? You don't want to move him? What's up with that? You still believe in him? Now,
It's
I
not.
think that if I were you, I would sell high. He's still got some value left in him, but you're just gonna keep him on the squad.
No one's been offering me good trades for like my players. To be honest.
I don't think
Um,
it's Drake's fault. I think it's more Gase's fault.
Gates is a horrible play caller. I will agree with that.
I don't know what he does. Like, I don't know. Like, Frank Gore
All,
is just
all the Dolphins
weird.
do is throw screens, really.
Yeah, Frank Gore is good and all, but I mean Drake is Drake, so like he should be getting way more looks
So
than.
did Drake.
Yeah, I mean he is Champagne Poppy in Miami, so.
yeah. Yeah.
Talk to me about your tight end situation. You got Hooper. As there goes Emmanuel Sanders with a 80-yard touchdown catch. Jesus Christ.
Wait, so if you want to take that back about me losing, that'll be good.
Wait a second. Let me look at Brooklyn Treyway. Oh,
Wow.
19.8 points
Anyway,
in the beginning of the second.
tight end. You got Austin Hooper at tight end.
Thanks,
You've been
Eddie.
rocking with him since week 1. You haven't picked anyone up to try to place him. You haven't tried to trade him away. You have faith in this guy?
Actually, I was stuck with Evan Ingram week 1, and then I had to pick up Hooper.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ingram. What round was he picked at? Let me see. Took Ingram 71st overall. Not bad. Hasn't done anything really this season.
Yeah, he's been
Have you
injured.
tried trading him away? Has anyone wanted him or what?
No one really wants Ingram because he's been injured, but I think once he gets back, that Giants offense could be looked at better. Quan Barkley's a beast. He's gonna open up a lot of that offense.
Yeah, I would
Now,
keep Ingram if I were you.
At your defense, you got a good defense in the Vikings. Now your kicker got injured. Doesn't happen a lot, but Zerline, you kept him on the bench. Is he coming back this week or no? He's still out.
He's questionable for this week, but it's like I think the risk of keeping him is, or like the reward of keeping him, and he has like potential to become of high score on my team, to be honest. That offense is actually incredible. So I
Now,
just kept him just for
what were you
that.
saying?
I just kept him because I think once he comes back, that offense is giving him a place where he could kick field goals or get extra points easily.
Yeah. Now, talk to me about your bench. So I'm seeing Ingram, Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, Greg Zuerlein, Isaiah Crowell, Cooper Kupp, and Antonio Brown. You take out Antonio Brown and start him, then you got Keelan Cole on the bench. That bench is looking a little weak, in my opinion. Have you been going for a lot of waiver claims? Have you just been getting unlucky?
Yeah, I've been striking out with the waiver claims. Like since I won a couple of games in the beginning, and then like one more like after week 4, I think. It was hard to like get a high waiver pick.
Yeah.
And try to get one of those good guys.
Now
I mean,
you
Cooper
got
Kupp is still good. So
Yeah, but once Cooper Kupp comes back, I mean,
his
hopefully
team looks
he
better.
doesn't like done for the year. But
I mean,
yeah,
let's say. I mean, you have Jared Goff. You have Coleman, Hunt. Then you have AB, Cup, and then you could put Fitz in there. Then you can have Ingram back. Drake still at flex. I mean, it's still good. Still a good team.
I have
now.
faith.
Go on.
I have faith. If I reach the playoffs, like later down in the stretch, like the week 9 through 11, it's gonna be really rough. Or not really rough, but that's like where I have to do good and to keep my season alive.
Now, one thing I see when I'm looking at your team is, again, you have 3 quarterbacks who are all valued to trade. Like you could get some pieces. You got Kirk, you got Goff, and you got Watson, but you haven't traded any of them.
Okay.
You don't have a lot of depth. Why do you keep the 3 quarterbacks there?
So the only trade I received for one of the quarterbacks is actually from Simon.
Oh,
I
no
mean,
surprise!
you could go out and make these trades, though. Why?
No,
you have to
listen.
put yourself
Wait,
out
do you want to hear this trade?
This
though?
is your intervention, Diego. Welcome to your intervention.
Do you want to hear?
All right, we
hear
all
this
know
trade?
Simon makes bad trades. We're about to approach the 45-minute mark. Don't want to make this too long.
Yeah.
What we
Actually.
really want to talk to you about was that trade that you just did with Eddie. Now, you traded, who was it? Michael Thomas and Juju Smith for Deshaun Watson and AB? Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was that, but AB, he's gonna get back to become the best wide receiver in the league, guys. Let's not get it twisted.
Did trade, though, Michael Thomas, who's the #1 target in New Orleans. He's a wide receiver 1. Juju Smith is a wide receiver 2 at the least. He can be a wide receiver 1. You gave up both of your wide receivers. One who had 16 catches this season is obviously Drew Brees' favorite target for AB. What were you thinking?
I think once Bell gets back, Juju's gonna have less targets, and AB's gonna have more targets because they're gonna have to cover Bell.
Now, what if Bell doesn't come back? What if Bell gets traded? You're taking a lot of what ifs there.
The risk, dude. I just tried to play for the reward,
Yeah. Now, if I was you, I might not have done that trade.
I would have not done that trade at all.
Only time will tell. But you got a solid team we're looking at.
Well, let me see the schedule real fast. What's your schedule looking like? Could you get lucky?
I mean, I have to win this week, definitely.
I mean, not too bad. It's kind of bad. I mean, you play Kevin, then you play Sonny, then you play Ed, then you play Justin, then Kenny, then me, and then Simon. Not too easy.
All right, boys. So we're at 44 minutes here. Once again, don't want to make the podcast too long. Anything else to say before we end this?
Thanks for having me here. It's been great.
Castro,
Uh,
anything to say?
Good luck on everyone's fantasy week this week, guys. Love you all.
Yeah.
It was nice talking, Diego. Matt, we'll see you next week. I'll see you next week.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh yes, I will see you tomorrow.
Whoa!
I'm gonna be in New Jersey this weekend. I will be in New Jersey. No
Wait,
pictures, please.
exclusive.
We might have a little live segment going on since we're gonna be together. You know, maybe some interviewing going on. Might have to do a little bit of a special. Maybe pooped. Who knows? But might have to be
No
maybe
one
doing
knows
the poop.
that is.
What? Maybe. All right, but it was great. We just finished our second podcast. For anybody who stayed and listened the whole time, thank you. But we're gonna be signing out, so we'll catch you next week.
Hey guys.